guys, we are still in the black moon energetics today as the moon is still in Gemini with the black moon, but we have some definite different vibes coming in today. Uranus is actually the planet that is going to be making the most impact today, along with Mercury. So we're definitely having a bit of a shift today in terms of how the energetics are going forward into this week, as opposed to how they have been all weekend. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Aubrey. Today is Tuesday, August 3rd, 2021, and this is my astrological outlook of the day. So today, like I said, although we are still in somewhat of a more like heavy, oppressive, depressing energy to an extent, because we are in another black moon day and we do still have the sun in opposition to Saturn, although now it's a waning opposition and we've moved to a 1 degree orb between the planets. So this is kind of breaking down and dissipating over the next couple of days, but it's still in effect today. However, Uranus is actually the planet that is making the most aspects today by the moon, by Mercury, and also by Venus. And so this is really going to change the tone of things, change the way that we're feeling, and just sort of the things that are going on and happening today, moving into this week. And also this Uranus energy is going to be pretty relevant over the next few weeks as we move through the Leo new moon cycle that's going to be happening this Sunday, because that new moon will be in a 3 degree orb square to Uranus. That means that it's in a square, but there's 3 degrees separating the degree where the new moon will be from the degree where it would need to be for the exact square. But 3 degree orbs, these are still very much in effect. So this Uranus energy that's really like in effect today and is like present throughout the week is also going to be something that we're dealing with throughout the next lunar cycle as well. So just kind of get used to it, because it's going to be with us for a little while as we move through the next few weeks of Leo season. So let's talk about how this is aspecting today. First of all, generally, this is going to be probably a very busy day, a very people-oriented day as well. There's a lot of reference to people, like in groups, doing things socially together in the Sabian symbols, in the energetics. Yes.
I have to go pee.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry about that. I had a child to attend to. Now back to the report. And as I was saying, the Sabian symbols today are indicating in the degrees that the planets are discharging a lot of socializing and people doing things in groups together. And Mercury is also one of the planets that is very active today. This is actually like a super Mercury-Uranus day, which always Mercury and Uranus together have this ability to bring like awakening and like enlightenment. So that's a quality of this energy as well that is going to be present over the next cycle that we can tap into and use. But anyways, specifically in terms of today's energetics, it's just a very like lively, energetic day, which is quite a change of pace from the more like heavy and oppressive energy that we had over the weekend and Monday. Definitely a lighter vibe today, even though we do still have that black moon energy in effect as well. So let me get to my notes. Number 1 today, like I said, we have the moon in Gemini. Remember, Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So when the moon is in Gemini, the moon is really referencing and working toward whatever's going on with Mercury. And today we have Mercury in coming to an exact square with Uranus. So this is where one of the ways where this Uranus energy is really like peaking today. So let's see. And it's also still a black moon day, like I said. So that means whenever we have the moon transiting the sign where the black moon is, or in opposition to the black moon, it creates what we call a black moon day, when the black moon energetics are just being triggered on a collective level. And it's an opportunity for a lot of like deep subconscious feelings to be triggered, and it sort of sets off these like defense mechanisms and these patterns and cycles of behavior. And really the purpose of it is so that we can see it and we can notice it and recognize it and be like, oh my god, look at this, what is the root of this issue, how do I solve this, how do I heal this, so that I can escape from these subconscious subliminal shadow side issues that create these self-sabotaging or cyclical patterns and behaviors that create, cycles of circumstances in the life as well. And in Gemini, this has a lot to do with bringing up polarities, bringing up like contrasts in our like deeply ingrained beliefs and understandings about things. It can bring up a lot of cognitive dissonance and anxiety and like mental health issues and stuff as well, and just generally highlights polarities and the shadow side nature of those in things and people and places and circumstances and situations. So with the moon in Gemini for this Mercury Uranus square today, it emphasizes the Gemini theme even more and is bringing up those shadow side issues, those polarities, those contrasts in like correspondence to this Mercury Uranus square that we also have going on today. So we have to handle that. The black moon is still in effect today as well, but let's talk for a minute about Mercury and Uranus in a square and what that can generally indicate and do for us. All right, so whenever we have Mercury's the messenger planet, it rules our mind, our thought processes, information, messages, ideas, understandings, also short travel back and forth, like vehicles going back and forth, also transactions and business and shopping and socializing in the media, in the news and social media, all of these things, messages, information, thought processes. These are Mercury's domain. This is Gemini, this is Mercury. And then we have Uranus. Uranus is like shocks and surprises, and I personally have named Uranus the Great Rectifier because Uranus is a very much like a silver lining energetic. When it happens, a lot of times it feels really chaotic and crazy and out of control and horrible, but then it's like, come to find out down the line, that exact thing was the exact thing that literally saved your life and made every wonderful thing that has happened since then possible. So it's like the silver lining energy, and it's also the Great Awakener, and it rules like electricity and lightning speed. And Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, the water bearer, the one who pours out all of the knowledge and wisdom and information, and also energy and vitality, and just like things happening at like a really quick pace. And it also rules the future and everything future oriented and what we're moving into now, and also like really high tech technology and stuff like that as well. And so when these two planets are in a square together, now this squares create tension or conflict for the purpose of some type of resolution or evolution or change. Generally it's trying to get us to change and to break through something and to like evolve to a higher level of understanding and whatever's being implicated in the square. But with Mercury and Uranus in the square, this generally is shocking, surprising news and information. So here you go in advance. Don't be surprised or shocked if you hear some just like totally off the wall messaging or information or people saying crazy things today. Definitely people saying just totally off the wall stuff, like I said, and just like out of the blue. And it also, though, it triggers those conscious awakenings and like epiphanies and flashes of insight and the mind just running like really, 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 really fast. And what else did I write? Oh yes, you want to watch travel today. You want to slow down because this energy also can create more like traffic accidents and stuff like that. Uranus also has a tendency to rule accidents, and Mercury rules traffic, so you want to keep with that. And generally this is just like a very high and fast paced energy, flashes of insight like I said, and mental energy is just going to be like spinning today for a lot of people, especially those of you who are Geminis, Gemini ascendants, or also Virgo ascendants, whoever, if Mercury dominant people, this is probably going to be affecting you the most. You guys are probably going to be feeling this the most, and you also might be some of the ones bringing these like shocking and surprising messages that are coming through today. But definitely for all of us, it's just surprising and shocking messaging or ideas, or just like an urge to say, or something coming into your head that is just like totally out of the blue, totally off the wall. And we're definitely going to want to watch with this, like any type of rash or impulsive verbalization or desire to do something based, like make an instantaneous decision based on something that you just heard, because it is the square, and this is like, there's not much thought put into these, like when these are like split second decisions, and we do still have the sun in opposition to Saturn, and Saturn really wants us to like slow down and take our time and plan and detail and organize and like not rush into things. So with this energy, the one thing that you're really going to want to watch is if you do hear something that just like makes you have a desire to like take some really impulsive or rash action without thinking it through. That's something that you're going to kind of want to watch. And also just like saying whatever comes to your mind out of the blue without thinking it through. That might be something that you want to watch also, because there can be issues that are created with this, although it is Uranus involved. So the likelihood of things actually going how they need to go somehow is a possibility with this as well, despite not having, like, even if you mess up and do like put your foot in your mouth or whatever and say something that you didn't mean to, because Uranus is involved, there's a greater likelihood that it actually might somehow work out in your best interest. But you still do want to watch impulsive, rash actions based on hearing crazy things, and also like just saying and verbalizing stuff that you haven't really thought through. Also though, and remember, a lot of this might come from or be stemming from these like deep emotions, the moon with the black moon, that are triggering these shadow side issues too. Like, and also with this energy, like it might just be a tough day for like mental health, or even people that don't have mental health issues might be feeling like a bit bipolar and all over the place, and anxiety and like panic and cognitive dissonance for sure, projection, like all of these more like ugly sides of like the mental sphere of things when it's being done unconsciously are completely primed for like being brought out today, especially with this Mercury in square to Uranus as well. So there's that. So just keep in mind, a lot of people are probably not thinking super clearly when they're saying whatever they're saying, and there is just not a lot of solid logic in what is coming out today. But also, this is a really great opportunity for like hardcore truth bombs that really like just upset the status quo of what people are understanding, really shake up the mind. Like there's, we might be hearing some news, Gemini, in the media, Gemini, or on social media, Gemini, or just generally like public statements, Gemini, that are just like really mind-blowing with this and cause like a lot of upset for people, is another way that this energy could play out. And though, there's another aspect of this going on, and that is the fact that while Uranus is in an exact square to Mercury, Uranus will also be in a trine with Venus. And Venus rules the sign that Uranus is in right now. Venus rules Taurus. So actually, the energy that's happening today, and whatever crazy shocks and surprises and messaging are coming through, there's also this dynamic that's happening simultaneously with that is working to realign authentic value internally and in relationships. So, this could also be a day of like breakups in relationships too, or in partnerships, business partnerships, financial contracts and agreements, stuff like that could go kind of like haywire today as well, because with Uranus in trine to Venus, this is like a very facilitating and assisting energy that just makes things happen. And Venus, Uranus, while Uranus is in Venus's sign, is really trying to get us to come back into an authentic understanding of our own true internal value, our own true internal self-worth, and really shaking off anything that is interfering with our ability to perceive those things like truly, and to align with our self-love. And also it really wants to improve the quality of our relationships and of our partnerships and of our business dealings. So with Venus in a trine to Uranus today, while Uranus is squaring Mercury, and we have the moon in Gemini with the black moon in Mercury's sign, there could be just some crazy conversations, some crazy information, people saying like really crazy and disruptive things that are disruptive to relationships and partnerships as well. But it's for the purpose of realigning these things or getting you out of a situation that is not allowing you to truly perceive your own internal value, your own self-worth, love yourself enough to be able to go through this reintegration process that we're all going in through individually and collectively right now, a reintegration of the divine masculine and the divine feminine within us that's really helping us to come back into our own internal strength and power so that we can become true creators and the masters of our own reality and be significantly less dependent on any type of external power source or authority to be able to have successful and fulfilling lives for ourselves and our family and our loved ones and just the experience generally. And this is the process that we're all going through that's moving us into the age of Aquarius individually, and it extrapolates out to the collective, and it's just this grand snowball effect. But with these energetics in effect, any shakeups that happen in relationships today, or any like verbal, just like real crazy things that go down, it's for the purpose of helping to heal this internal connection to ourselves, the relationship that we have with ourselves, so that we can have relationships and partnerships in our lives that are more reflective of what we truly deserve and that can really benefit us and fulfill us and help us to develop and cultivate our potential, and so that we can create and manifest the lives that we truly want and desire and we have always been meant to have and to live. So we have all of that today, guys. Overall, let's see. And also the moon in Gemini, when the moon in Gemini, like I said, where the black moon is contributing to Mercury today, will also make a square with Venus. So the real planets that are being highly emphasized today, it's Uranus, Venus, Mercury, and the moon. All of them are sort of like interplaying with one another, and with Venus, the moon in square to Venus in the midst of all of this crazy like information that's going on, one thing that we are going to want to watch today is the urge to like just sort of like overindulge in whatever to kind of like make ourselves maybe like feel better about like what's transpiring or whatever. Watch overindulging in like food or pleasure or comfort or spending money on things, just because Venus square the moon can kind of give us a tendency to do that. And with all of this crazy very anxious energy that's going on, we might just want to like self-soothe, but just try not to go overboard with it, because that's just never good, right? Everything in moderation. And that is an indication of one thing that could transpire as a side effect of these energetics today. So overall, though, you guys, just a very, very social Mercury energy today. Let me read you a couple of the Sabian symbols. We have this, and for those of you who don't know or who are new to my channel, the Sabian symbols are a group of symbols that describe each and every one of the 360 degrees of the zodiac, and they basically just give us more information. So whenever a planet is at a specific degree and discharging that symbol, we can look to that symbol to understand really like the purpose of that aspect in the context of this blueprint that's unfolding, this grand saga of the cosmic plan to move us forward into the age of Aquarius. So I like to look at the Sabians because they just tell us more information. And today the sun is at 12 degrees of Leo, and this is an evening lawn party of adults. The earth is at 12 degrees of Aquarius. This is people on a vast staircase graduated upwards. Mercury, one of the all-star planets of today, will be at 15 degrees of Leo for the exact square to Uranus. And this is a pageant moving along a street packed with people. So the sun, the earth, and Mercury today are all talking about people. Big crowds of people, people doing things, people packed together, people gathered together. And so whatever, that makes me feel like whatever like transpires, whatever crazy information or news surfaces with this Mercury square Uranus today is going to be like seen and heard and perceived by a lot of people. and it's going to be like a very collective thing. Like people, and again, like there's just a much more social vibe today. People out doing things, people interacting, people trying to enjoy themselves, people trying to come together and to participate in ongoings together despite the oppressiveness that we've been experiencing lately. So overall, a much lighter energy than yesterday, but lots and lots of nervous tension with this and things happening very fast. Mercury and Uranus, this is a like combination that I'm personally like very knowledgeable in. Mercury and Uranus are both my like primary planets, and it's definitely just like so much just like mental nervous energy, like ideas coming in all the time, like trying to keep a grip on things, like trying to keep your thought processes, because there's just so much bombarded of like very, very fast-paced energy. And then, you know, when we add in the whole black moon thing and the moon in Gemini, there's like this emotional component to it in terms of like us emotionally responding to this crazy information that's coming through and possibly bringing up these shadow side issues and, you know, causing us to be like real in our feels about it, sort of. But, and then, you know, with the trine to Uranus, this also could, or the trine to Venus, this also could be like relationship issues with the moon in square to Venus as well. So overall, you know, lots of busy energy today, lots of people out and about and trying to do things despite the restrictions, but on the same sense, just this very, very like ethereal, fast-paced mental energy coming through and sort of like triggering things, and just like very shocking and surprising information is the name of the game today. So that's basically my video for today. Expect the unexpected, and don't get too shook up if you hear some really crazy stuff. Just keep working towards your goals and cultivating that potential and figuring out and envisioning and imagining what you truly want your life to look like, because ultimately at the end of the day, that is our job right now. And you guys, we also really need to try our best not to take the projections on the screens, you know, the dual screens of reality right now, and what's being projected to us in terms of the media as like fact and actual reality. Because really, you know, the way it works, it's like we're projected these images, we're given these ideas, and then the more that we think about them and the more that we internalize them and focus on them, we as humanity are actually creating them. We're actually bringing them into existence through our own power of imagination and our feelings and our thoughts and our belief in alignment. And so we really need to try our best not to like get caught up in, you know, who's right and who's wrong and the polarities of everything, and being like very opposed to like the other side. It's our job to really all be in this together, and to get, you know, even if we have disagreeing beliefs about things, even if we're making different personal lifestyle choices, we still can be envisioning our lives and our reality the way that we want them to be, instead of buying into like the fear and the perpetual negative scenarios that are presented to us, because it really truly is an effort to hijack our creative ability and have us create the negative reality through our own focus. And when we're focused on, you know, all of that, or people not agreeing with us, or people who make different choices with us, and what will become of them, and what will become of this, and what will become of that, we're playing right into that. We're doing you know, we're creating that reality. What we need to do is not be fooled by that, not be caught into the illusion of it, really do our best right now to mind our own business and to just lead by example. If the biggest way that we can make an impact on, you know, changing anyone's mind is simply by leading by example, and people will either, you know, be able to perceive and see that and want to do that for themselves and be inspired, or they won't, and maybe they'll be inspired by somebody else who resonates with them more. But either way, it's really our job right now to be creating the reality that we want based on what is in our hearts and in our minds and in our truth, and not be creating a false reality that is being projected to us so that we create it, instead of focusing on creating our world the way we want it for ourselves. Because when we're all doing that, it really has a really big impact in both moving us into the process of freedom and self-empowerment, and also keeping us in like the right timeline of the way that things are unfolding moving into the age of Aquarius. So I just wanted to throw that out there as well. It's not really our job to tell people, you know, when they're right or when they're wrong. It's our job to be focusing on what we need to do individually to create our own age of Aquarius, and then leading by that example. And then that is what will perpetuate, will project, and will ripple out more, you know. So that's really how I think that we really need to be using these energetics right now. And especially with all of this Mercury that's in effect today and all of this information, we really need to keep that in mind, because we have so much power in our thoughts and in our mind. And today with this Mercury day, that's really something that we can utilize, especially with Uranus, to get on the right track of things. So that's my video for today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends if you think they would be interested, leave me comments. I love you guys' comments, and ring the bell if you want notifications every time I upload a video. And I also have a Facebook group and a Facebook page if you guys want to come over and join into that as well. And I will see you back here tomorrow for my astrological outlook for Wednesday. Have a beautiful, beautiful day, everybody, and be open to receive beautiful, amazing information, messages, and to create your future dreams with them. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.